I'm Jeff Raz, and here's an improv game that I learned from Carlo Mazzoni Clemente that I use still today. It starts with a physical base. So the first person comes up and makes a repeatable abstract motion. And it takes them a while. They can take a little while to settle in. What is the motion? And when they have it set, the next person comes and needs to imitate that motion exactly. So that's the first challenge, is how do I make my body work that same way? So you got to go through from the feet on up, get it right. And then when that second person feels like the motion's set, they got it exactly, they make a statement, an affirmative statement that's as specific as possible about what in the real world's going on from this abstract motion. So there may be the two of us are doing this, and the second person comes in and they're set, and they might say, Eddie, I just love these baby hippos. I could hug them all day. The first person, Eddie, of course, immediately says, yes, and this one's an albino, or some way to confirm and take it a little further. End. Number two steps over to the number one and immediately starts a new abstract motion. And then the next person in line is called a carousel because it goes around in a carousel. There are lots of different elements. You can see some classic improv elements, the yes and, the specificity, the simplicity of setting a whole world. Then there's all the physical elements that you can work on. So if each of the movements is legato, you can ask for some staccato. If the movements are all standing straight up, you can ask it to go up and down. So there's a whole almost dance world that you can pull out of it as well. Carousel, originally learned from Carlo Mazzoni Clemente, who started Dell'Arte International School. I graduated from Dell'Arte International quite a few years ago, and I started a school, the Clown Conservatory, in the year 2000, and I wrote a book about a time when I was touring with Cirque du Soleil and running the school. Actually, using that exercise, carousel, both with my colleagues at Cirque du Soleil and with the Clown Conservatory. The folks in Cirque du Soleil, almost none of them spoke English as a first language, so that exercise takes on another move. It has to be simple. They have to look for the ideas that they have the words to cover. More recently, I've written a new book called The Snow Clown. That first book is called The Secret Life of Clowns. The new book, The Snow Clown, comes from a different era earlier in my career when I was touring in Yupik Eskimo villages out in the southwestern part of Alaska, and also going to Nebraska as an artist in resident. It's an adventure story, a stranger in a strange land, when the stranger happens to be a circus clown.